How many half-dead shopping malls like this are there across the country? Here is probably the most popular part of this mall. Look, all sorts of big brands. Look on the left, Starbucks on the right, Bawang, Chaji, Seymour, and Li Ning. Look on the second floor, same. You might think this place is remote, but it's actually quite good. It's next to the National Exhibition and Convention Center and very close to Hangzhou Railway Station. Restaurant owners, something's gone seriously wrong. Summer vacation is over. Yes, this summer of dismal business has quietly finished. I have a question for my peers in the hotel and restaurant industry. I'm so confused. I've been in the restaurant industry for 11 years, and this is the worst summer season. It should be peak season, but many dine-in restaurants are still empty. The weather is hot, but business isn't. We've been eagerly anticipating July and August, but they're ultimately wasted. Restaurant owners who hope to survive by the sales of these 2 months are now leaving in a hurry, closing down. The business vibe has plummeted by 99%. It's completely gone. 2 years ago, I was squatting on a curb, drinking. Now look, it's become like this. It used to be filled with decent men and women, but now it's just me. My brain served correctly. This was the hottest roadside shop. They sold high-quality craft beers and drinks for $1. It was incredibly popular. Look at it now. China's economy continues to deteriorate. Shanghai, once known as an international metropolis, is now experiencing a slump across all industries. Numerous factories and businesses closed down. The once bustling downtown streets, train stations, and shopping malls are now deserted, sparsely populated, and bleak. The housing market is sluggish, office buildings are vacant, unemployment is soaring, and those unable to find work are even sleeping under bridges. It's a visible decline. Many Chinese are asking, what's happening in Shanghai these days? In this episode, let's talk about the story of Shanghai. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and allows us to bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. Shanghai Construction Engineering Group really can't hold on. All its figures are declining in the first half of this year, with revenue and profits plummeting by over 20%. Even worse, it's said that the company plans to reduce its employees from 14,000 to under 8,000 by the end of the year. Employees have already posted termination notices online, and the layoffs are being carried out in batches. Some employees will leave when their projects are completed, while others will be sent home directly. Why do I feel like Shanghai's economy is worse than that of second and third tier cities? I just chatted with one of our finance and tax fellows, and he said that starting this year, more and more businesses have been deregistered, and many outlanders have left. It's said that 2 million people have left Shanghai this year. What do you think caused their leaving? Is it unemployment, business losses, or failure of their brick-and-mortar businesses? I'm curious, so where do they go? The entire Agency Mall is practically empty, with few businesses. Such a pity for such a large mall. Of course, many people say this is human error that caused its downfall. Does anyone know anything about the Agency Mall? September 1st hasn't even arrived yet, and the storefronts here in Shanghai are already empty. This is near Minhang District Central Hospital. I am walking over here today, and I'm shocked to see that every storefront on the street is closed, unoccupied. I wonder if this is just the current economic climate or the result of the social insurance issue of September 1st. Feel free to discuss in the comments. Brothers, look at this row of shops. Before they even became available, there were already long lines waiting to get in. Fortune Noodle House used to be so busy you couldn't even get in. Now look, it's closing, closing, closing. Gucci across the street is also closing. How does it suddenly become like this? This elementary school closed in 2025. Wuzheng Road Elementary School, located within the Shuhui Inner Ring Road, is next to the Yishan Road subway station. Such a prime location, and yet it's closed.
小学居然关门了。
Over 80 schools in Shanghai have closed, with kindergartens being the hardest hit. Have you heard? Over 80 schools have closed in Shanghai this year. This is no small number. Over 60 schools closed last year, and unexpectedly, even more have closed in the first half of this year. Kindergartens have seen the most closures, accounting for 75% of these 80 schools. Private kindergartens are particularly hard hit, and they're having a tough time. Why have so many schools closed? The main reason is a decline in children. Just look at kindergarten enrollment. In just 6 years, the number of children attending kindergarten in Shanghai has dropped by nearly 40%. There aren't that many kids anymore. Have you noticed that Shanghai is becoming increasingly deserted, with less and less nightlife? A question from a Chinese netizen garnered an astonishing 24 million views. He said that when he was in middle school, the entrance to his residential community was bustling with activity, and there were many shops along the street. At night, he'd walk along the river, eating, drinking, and shopping, hanging out with friends. There were fun and unique things everywhere. Then, 15 years later, he came back and found that by 8 or 9 p.m. it was so quiet on the streets, except for people catching the subway to rush to and from work. The roads are deserted. He initially thought he'd moved to a remote area, but later realized he wasn't. Just like now, after 8 p.m., many shopping malls in Shanghai start to feel like they're about to close. There's no one around, and there are no options for late-night snacks or barbecue. What's happening to Shanghai's nightlife these days? Some netizens have bluntly stated that the employment environment in Shanghai has been devastating in the past 2 years. Companies of all sizes have been laying off employees, and many people have lost their jobs. Chinese online communities are filled with gloom, with people lamenting layoffs and struggling to make ends meet. Some haven't even received their salaries yet, and they don't know how to get by. Shanghai Hongqiao, an international metropolis, looks deserted. Where has everyone gone? Today is August 30th, Saturday afternoon, around 4:16 p.m. I'm inside the Capitaland shopping mall on Madong Road, Huangpu District. It's very hot outside on the weekend. Logically, shouldn't everyone be ducking inside to enjoy the free air conditioning, do some shopping, and look at the bustling crowds? The stores are empty, right? It's the weekend. Where does everyone go? Guys, I can't take it anymore. Selling a home right now is so hard. Look, it's scorching hot today. My condo has been on the market for over a week and there's been almost no buyer showings. I can't bear it. I visited several real estate agencies today trying to list my property, but now it's unsellable. I bought my condo in 2021 for $330,000. The agent told me that I could get $190,000, and so I listed it for $210,000. And now, no one's looking. My fellows, I'm leaving now. I can't hold on. Bye. The overall environment is negative. Since the restaurant industry started declining in May 2024, no customer has been willing to go out and spend. Over time, costs couldn't keep up. I've been holding out for over a year, losing $6,000 to $7,000 a month. Plus the rent and renovation costs, the loss totals over $200,000. The pressure is immense. On New Year's Eve, the mall was packed, the stairs were unreachable, every store was lining up until after 11 o'clock. The flow of people was excellent, but suddenly it was gone. I'd been forcing myself to keep going every month, thinking business would gradually pick up, but it hasn't. So, forget it, I'm not going to play along anymore. At 4 a.m. in a corner of Shanghai, there's a place I dare not go again. Looking for a job here is like looking for a way out. Hundreds and thousands of people come here with the same goal, to see if they can find some work to do today. I'm looking for work. The bosses ask those people to hire. Some offer the odd job in which you don't even have time to drink a drop of water. I really want to give up. Business is so tough these days. I opened a soup restaurant in Shanghai, but the competition is too fierce. I sell 4 steamed buns for 7 cents, and not many customers come. Across from my shop, there's a soup dumpling place selling 6 dumplings for $1.40, and their dumplings are much smaller than mine, and they're not doing well either. China's deflation and internal price wars are eroding profits in many industries. In recent years, China's semiconductor industry has flourished, with major brands popping up like mushrooms after rain. However, with the market becoming increasingly saturated and the impact of the US chip ban, China's semiconductor factories have also seen a wave of rotten-tailed projects. Shanghai Wusheng Semiconductor, originally founded in Shanghai and announcing plans in 2021 to invest over $2.5 billion to build a world-class vertically integrated circuit manufacturer, recently declared bankruptcy, leaving only $150 in assets after liquidation. One netizen commented, Wusheng Semiconductor was once considered a rising star in the domestic semiconductor industry. However, in just 4 years, it has fallen from a multi-billion-dollar company to a mere $100, unable to even cover bankruptcy costs. Wusheng's downfall demonstrates that companies must not only rely on capital gimmicks but also possess real technology and the ability to generate revenue. Some netizens said, at the time, the Chinese Communist Party government was promoting the Great Leap Forward in chips, and many semiconductor companies were established in response, all to defraud the national treasury of chip subsidies. The so-called over 100 billion RMB Shanghai Group has collapsed. Its founder owned hundreds of companies, one of which was built on commodity trading. His businesses were once handed over from one hand to the other, generating hundreds of millions in trade overnight. Meanwhile, the true director sat on the throne, his hundreds of trading companies acting like puppets on strings. He only needed to click on the mouse and the massive flow of funds flowed through various accounts like magic. Will China's electronic information manufacturing industry continue to thrive in the future? I'm actually feeling very heavy right now because another veteran manufacturer in the industry sadly left the scene. In March of this year, the once roaring machines at Pegatron Technology in Shanghai's Kongqiao Industrial Zone were now completely paralyzed. The last batch of production equipment was packed into containers and shipped to Vietnam. Pegatron Technology, once a giant contract manufacturing company with 100,000 employees and once known as Little Foxconn, can no longer sustain itself. Our company used to be so full with so many people. Now it's completely empty. No one's there and no business. The Pegatron factory is completely moved out, and the restaurants near us are suffering worse. I've recently read several articles about this topic. They're mainly about a large factory nearby. Pegatron lost an Apple order, and due to rising labor costs in Shanghai, all its employees left Shanghai. I asked an internal staff member, and he said they still have 2 other factories. I don't know the specifics, but it's clear that the flow of basic labor has dropped significantly. My company closed down after a meeting in the morning, and I didn't have to work in the afternoon. I'm now unemployed. I'll collect my unemployment benefits in a few days, and I'm now looking for food. Many people left Shanghai and returned to their hometowns, sending their electric scooters back. More and more people are fleeing Shanghai. Don't argue with that. We work in logistics and we have personal experience. Look at how many electric scooters I've delivered today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you handle 6, bro? Sometimes we have over a dozen. Today we have 6 and 1 more is coming from Pudong later. All 7 are leaving. I also received 2 yesterday, right? This economic situation is truly not optimistic. Shanghai business owners are staging a mass exodus. Compliance with government policy is like slow slicing, cutting flesh with every knife. Non-compliance means the end of business. Most Shanghai bosses are struggling on the brink of giving up. I've worked in finance in Shanghai for 6 years, and I've never witnessed such a dire situation. Orders have plummeted by 60%, profits are thin as paper, and triangular debts have forced bosses to go back and forth between the courts and banks. Even more frustrating is that 80% of bosses' credit reports are filled with rejection records from various banks, leaving them in a mess. The bank's withdrawal of loans has exacerbated exacerbated the situation. Some are trading real estate for cash flow, some are borrowing money from private individuals to pay salaries, and many more are wandering alone in their cars late at night. This is not fear-mongering. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.